Marcus had lived in the apartment for 3 months before he noticed something wrong with the bathroom mirror. It happened on a Tuesday morning while brushing his teeth. He blinked. His reflection blinked back, but not at the same time. Half a second late. Maybe less. He stepped closer to the glass, his breath fogging the surface. Marcus raised his right hand slowly. The reflection did the same, but the movement lagged behind like a video on a poor connection. He waved. The reflection waved. He smiled. The reflection smiled. Always delayed. Always just a fraction too slow. Old building, he muttered to himself. Probably just the lighting playing tricks. But Marcus knew better. He'd worked as an electrician for 7 years. Lighting didn't cause delays in reflections. Nothing did. Reflections were instant. Physics demanded it. Light traveled too fast for human eyes to perceive any lag. Yet here he stood, watching himself move in the mirror like he was seeing an echo of his own actions. Over the following days, Marcus tested it obsessively. He'd walk into the bathroom at different times, making sudden movements to catch the reflection off guard. The delay remained constant. Exactly half a second. He filmed it on his phone, but the camera showed nothing unusual. On screen, his reflection moved in perfect sync. The delay only existed when he looked directly at the mirror with his own eyes. Marcus started avoiding the bathroom at night. He'd brush his teeth in the kitchen sink and shower at the gym. But the mirror haunted his thoughts. Who was on the other side of that glass? What was on the other side? Because the more he watched, the more certain he became. His reflection wasn't just delayed. It was separate. It was something else wearing his face, learning his movements, studying him through the glass barrier between their worlds. 3 weeks passed. Marcus had almost convinced himself to ignore it. The mind plays tricks, he reasoned. Stress from work, too much coffee, not enough sleep. He'd been pulling double shifts at the construction site, and exhaustion could make anyone see things that weren't there. But on Friday night, something changed. Marcus entered the bathroom around midnight, half asleep and desperate to use the toilet. He didn't turn on the light immediately, just stumbled forward in the darkness. Then he flipped the switch. The fluorescent bulb flickered to life and Marcus froze. His reflection stood in a different position than he did. Marcus stood near the doorway, hand still on the light switch. But the reflection stood directly in front of the mirror, centered, staring straight ahead. For 3 full seconds they remained out of sync. Then, slowly, the reflection moved backward to match his position by the door. The smile on its face wasn't one Marcus was making. He ran from the bathroom and slammed the door shut. That night, Marcus slept with every light in the apartment turned on. He pushed a chair against the bathroom door for good measure. His rational mind screamed that this was impossible, that reflections couldn't act independently, that physics and reality had rules. But his gut, the ancient primal part of his brain designed to keep him alive, told him something was terribly wrong. Morning came with gray autumn light filtering through the curtains. Marcus made coffee with shaking hands and called his sister, Emma. She listened to his story with patience, then suggested he see a doctor. Hallucinations could indicate serious medical conditions. Brain tumors. Schizophrenia. Carbon monoxide poisoning even. Marcus scheduled an appointment for Monday and bought a carbon monoxide detector that afternoon. The device showed normal readings. He felt perfectly healthy otherwise. No headaches, no confusion, no other symptoms. Just the mirror. Just the impossible, waiting reflection. Sunday night arrived with rain hammering against the windows. Marcus had made it through the weekend by avoiding the bathroom mirror entirely. He'd draped a bedsheet over it, unable to throw the thing out because it was built into the wall. The apartment management would charge him for damages. But at 2:17 in the morning, Marcus woke with his bladder screaming for relief. He'd had too much beer watching the game, trying to distract himself from the mirror situation. Now he had no choice. He had to go into that bathroom. The hallway stretched longer than usual in the darkness. Each step toward the bathroom door felt heavy, deliberate. Marcus reached for the handle and paused. Silence pressed against his ears. No rain anymore, no traffic sounds from the street below, nothing. Just his own breathing and the thundering of his heartbeat. He opened the door. The sheet had fallen from the mirror. It lay crumpled on the tile floor in a heap. And there, in the glass, his reflection stood waiting. Not mimicking his position by the doorway. Just standing there in the center of the bathroom, arms at its sides, head tilted slightly to the left. Watching. The eyes were wrong, too focused, too aware, too hungry. Marcus couldn't move. His bladder no longer mattered. His entire body had locked up with primal terror. The reflection smiled wider, showing too many teeth. Then it raised one hand and pressed its palm flat against the glass from the inside. The mirror's surface rippled like water. "No," Marcus whispered. His voice came out broken and small. The reflection's hand pushed through the glass. Marcus stumbled backward into the hallway as the hand emerged completely from the mirror. The fingers were his fingers, same calluses from work, same scar on the thumb from a childhood accident, but they moved with alien intention. The reflection pressed its other hand against the glass, and that surface rippled again, yielding like liquid mercury. "This isn't real," Marcus said, but his words held no conviction. The reflection's head began pushing through. Marcus watched his own face emerge from the impossible surface, skin glistening wet as it crossed from that other place into his world. The eyes locked onto him with recognition and something darker. Ownership perhaps. Or hunger for replacement. Marcus did the only thing his terrified brain could manage. He ran. Sprinted down the hallway toward the front door, his bare feet slapping against hardwood. Behind him came other footsteps, perfectly matched to his own rhythm. Running the exact same way he ran because it had studied him for weeks, learning every gesture and movement through the glass barrier. The front door wouldn't open. Marcus yanked the deadbolt and twisted the handle, but something held it shut. He spun around and saw it standing at the end of the hallway. His double. His reflection made flesh. It walked toward him slowly, confidently, wearing his favorite sleeping shirt and matching his panicked expression with perfect, mocking accuracy. "What do you want?" Marcus screamed. The thing didn't answer with words. It simply pointed at Marcus, then pointed at itself. The message was clear. There could only be one of them in this world. And it had been waiting on the other side of that mirror for so very long, watching, learning, preparing for the moment when the barrier would finally weaken enough to cross. The lights went out. In the absolute darkness, Marcus felt hands, his own hands, wrap around his throat and begin to squeeze. When morning came, Marcus made breakfast. He showered, dressed for work, and brushed his teeth in the bathroom. The mirror showed his reflection moving in perfect synchronization now. No delay at all. Everything as it should be. He smiled at himself, and the reflection smiled back instantly. Behind him in the glass, barely visible in the corner where the shower curtain hung, something else watched from the other side. Something that wore Marcus's face but stood in a position Marcus wasn't standing in. Waiting. Patient. Because now it understood. The barrier worked both ways. And there were so many mirrors in the world. So many reflections. So many chances to cross back over and reclaim what had been taken. Marcus, or the thing wearing his skin, left for work without noticing. The apartment fell silent except for the steady drip of the bathroom faucet. And in the mirror, the real Marcus screamed soundlessly from the other side of the glass, trapped in a world of reversed reflections, watching his stolen life continue without him.